Welcome viewers to a special edition of the 284 Media Weekend Roundup as we prepare for the April 24th general election. It is April 22nd, 2023 and I am Jaco Wooding. We will be exploring our experience covering advanced polling day this week. We begin with Kamal Haynes in Districts 1 and 3 where he caught up with residents on that day.
It is advanced polling day in the British Virgin Islands. And as you can see in the backdrop, I'm here at the West End Community Center in District 1, where lots of activity have been taking place so far in the morning period, with more than 70 persons already coming out and casting their votes. I would have spoken to a number of persons who had the following to say.
Well, I think it's a good thing to participate in this election because I come in. So you got a lot of things going on, in that, so I believe it's good to vote.
And in terms of your voting today, how important is voting for those people who are still on the fence?
Well, I think it's good. I think it's good.
And what issues do you believe would have made you come out to vote this year, for example, in this general election?
Well, as I said already, it's every election. I always, I vote for other party member. And I feel like you come out to support my party.
Another District 1 voter who opted to remain anonymous gave his reasoning for participating in this year's election, stating that it is a very important right that should not be taken for granted.
Many countries of the world today, people wish they had such rights. And we believe it's a very important right that a person has been afforded, and thus they should exercise their right to be able to vote.
And how important do you believe is this general election?
Well, every election, in my opinion, is important. This is just the latest, right? And it's the end of the term. We need to have an election, and hopefully things will be better for the country than it is now. In the past couple of months, we had some unpleasant developments, and this to me would put us back where we were or where we ought to be as a result of what had happened in the past at a very high level. I think you know what we're talking about without saying it.
And what message would you like to send to the elected officials who are successful in this general election?
That they should walk by the book. Put greed aside and put people first.
Also spotted at the West End Community Center was the Progressive Virgin Islands Movement candidate Shana Smith Archer, who spoke on the importance of residents coming out to vote on election day.
Come out, usually in the first district, there's always a good turnout, I would say, on advanced polling day, where our seniors and other special categories of persons will report. So we had a heavy shower of rain. I think that might have slowed persons down this morning, but it's been a steady flow of persons from opening.
And I want you to speak about the importance of persons executing their constitutional right to vote.
Oh, definitely. So we always speak about rights, and it's more important to think about the responsibility that comes with that right, that it is your responsibility as a good citizen to elect good officials. So I know persons are, discouraged and disillusioned and saying that they're not thinking about coming out to vote, but it's very important that you do that so that we can have the change that you would like to see.
Well, also present at the polling station was election observation lead for the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Fleur Tanhakin, who spoke on the upcoming activities the CPA team will undertake over the next few days.
We arrived with our international team of observers last Monday, and throughout this week and coming up to election day next week, we are meeting with lots of different stakeholders across the islands to try and get a picture of this election and the unique context in which it's taking place. Today obviously is an exciting day because advanced polling is happening, so we are here to see advanced polling in action, and we're really pleased to be able to finally see this election proceedings in progress.
Well, I've made my way to the Valerie O. Thomas Community Center in District 3. The residents also came out in abundance to vote on advanced polling day. Well, up until 1 p.m. this afternoon, some 117 residents came out and voted for their preferred candidate of choice. Well, in comparison to District 1, as it relates to numbers outside the venue, District 1 had far more persons outside. However, in District 3, the numbers continue to trickle in slowly but surely. I had the opportunity to speak to one of the persons who voted, who opted to remain anonymous, as well as some candidates in this upcoming general election who encouraged voters to come out in their numbers to also vote on Monday. Well, here's what they had to say.
I missed one opportunity to exercise my rights. And I do believe if you do not vote, you have to accept what the others have done, and they will vote for you. You have to abide with the consequences of what they have voted to do.
Also, how do you feel about the state of politics in the BVI?
I think it is to a crossroads, and it's this election will determine what we, the electorate, feel about it. And I have made my decision on the polls, and I really don't care to divulge what I feel, but I do feel it needs to be it needs restructuring.
How important is this election? In your opinion?
This is very important, paramount to the democracy and to the image of our country. This will send a message to the listening and watching world.
Okay. And finally, what message would you like to send to the elected officials who are successful in this general election?
I would like to say to them, I believe that this election is about the people. And if you can't be for the people in a square and honest way, leave it alone.
Also voting in District 3 was Darrell Christopher, who stressed the importance of everyone exercising their right to vote.
Well, for the past 8 election, I think, I have voted, and I is one of those persons who believe in exercising your rights to vote. I think that everyone should have a voice in their country in terms of who should be representing us for the government. So I'm not like some people have been hearing saying they're not going to vote, but if you don't go to vote, then you're not exercising your rights. So I think it's very important for everyone to get out and vote.
And you spoke about the importance of getting out and vote. How important do you believe is this election in the Virgin Islands?
Very, when we listen to a number of the concern that many of our citizens have, it is very important. Going forward to see who is going to lead the government and what's going to be the outcome of the COI and the order that is in council, etc. So I think it's very important for everyone to get out and vote.
Sorry.
I voted in Seacoast Bay, and I have to say the line there is moving real fast. And I'm here now at Western Polling Station at the community center, and they are doing a pretty good job as well.
Okay.
Just observing.
And what message would you like to send to the elected officials who are successful in the next this general election?
Most important thing is work together. If it happens so that we have a coalition government, we need to work together. It doesn't matter. And if we have a team that win outright, we don't want any dictatorship. We want people to go in there and deal with the issues of the country and do what's best for us, for the country going forward.
Present at the community center during my visit was District 3 representative under the National Democratic Party, Aaron Parillon, who said he was pleased with the activity seen during the day.
It's been a very good turnout so far. As you can see, the sun picked up, so I have a bit of a concern as it relates to our elders out here during this hot sun. So I'll probably have a conversation with the elections office and see how we could remedy this come Monday and provide more spacing for individuals to stand under the tents. But it's been a very good day, you know, a very humble day, you know, a very smooth day and so forth, you know. Great to see the elders come out and smile and so forth, yeah.
And as we do know, Monday is the final day for persons to come out. We do know some people are still on the fence as it relates to voting generally. What advice would you provide to those people to convince them to come out and exercise their constitutional duty?
I think during the campaign trails, many has been said by several parties, many has been said by myself. So I employ individuals to use their level of, I would say the level of conscience. You know, go with what affects you. Think about the issues that affect you. Think about what has not been done to make sure your lives have been better. And make a conscious decision. You know, change is inevitable, so don't be afraid to make change.
Last but not least was Progressive Virgin Islands Movement at Large candidate Ingrid Moses-Catliff, who had this to say.
The importance of voting cannot be underscored enough. As a people, we have not always been allowed the right to vote. And actually, when we did get the right to vote, women were the last to be able to vote. So I'm asking persons, today is advanced polling day, Monday is polling day. I'm asking everyone to come out and exercise your constitutional right to vote. It's a right, but it's a right that has been worked hard for, and it's important that you come out and vote. Not voting is actually a vote. But you staying home and not coming out to vote, it actually says you are happy with the state of affairs. You have an opportunity now to come out on Monday and cast your ballot for the individuals, the team that you think can change the trajectory of this territory. We need to set the territory back on course, and in order to do that, we need you to come out and exercise your right to vote. I'm Ingrid Moses-Catliff, and I'm asking you to come out and vote.
Reporting for Twit4 News, I am Kamal Haynes.
Viewers, with that, we take you to a quick commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Looks like Johnny's ex-girlfriend finally found my car.
You've got CG. You're fine. I'll never forget the year those monkeys stole my car. They drove it over a cliff, burned the seats, and carved the words pineapple banana smoothie into all the doors. And that was after they used it for the bank heist. I don't blame them. It's their favorite smoothie, and I refuse to share the recipe.
No deductible for theft, malicious damage, and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Virgin Islanders, we are at the precipice of our elections and are at the crossroads of our future. For far too long, our country's potential has been squandered and our youth ignored. Every 4 years, we of the younger generation have been met with empty promises of a better tomorrow and greater opportunity. In fact, everyone in the Virgin Islands, has been promised that we would have a better tomorrow. And yet, life just continues to get harder and harder. We, the people of the Virgin Islands, have been embarrassed, we have been oppressed, we have been forsaken. Let's stop the frig. I am a lawyer who has fought hard for these Virgin Islands when many others remain silent. When the British threaten to impose direct rule, there are those who are running now and asking for your votes, who remained silent, said nothing. When the controversial and abusive police bill of 2023 was brought to the House of Assembly, it was I alone who stood up against it. Alone. When the RDA Act was being passed, it was I that lobbied for the inclusion of a youth representative on the board. I think I have a good record of stopping the frig. I really do. As a lawyer, well acquainted with public issues, I will use my legal knowledge in the House of Assembly to ensure that we, the public, no longer get hoodwinked, to ensure that our constitutional rights are respected, and to ensure that the public plays a part in projects and proposed laws. Together, we will stop the frig. We will regulate how banks treat their customers. We will bring back governance to the public. We will protect our environment. We will get transparency. We will take care of our seniors and differently abled persons. We will get better access to justice. We will get good opportunities for the younger and everyone in the Virgin Islands. We of the younger generation will no longer be left behind, merely awaiting bushcutting contracts. We will stop the frig. Vote for Daniel Robert F. Davies, the number 2 on that large section of the ballot. Vote for me for a better tomorrow. Vote for me so we can together stop the frig.
For the last several years, I have had the distinct pleasure of getting to know Mrs. Lorna Smith OBE on both a personal and professional level. She's my mentor and she's my friend, and I owe so much of who I am, especially professionally, to her. Her work ethic, her determination, and her passion have rubbed off on me, and because of that, I have been able to succeed in many aspects of my life. Being a young professional in the BVI, I do think it's always special to have someone who will put you in the important rooms and allow you to learn and to grow, allow you to be the best version of yourself. She was instrumental in helping me to be confident in my abilities. She has a thing where she says that I inspire her, but I don't think she understands how much she inspires me on a daily basis. She cares, she understands, she's passionate, and she listens. Her care, her passion, and her love of all that she does are just a few of the reasons I think that you should vote for her. We are at a time in the BVI where we need doers and not just talkers. I can vouch for Lorna Smith because she is a doer and she will always fight to ensure that the BVI gets the very best. She's someone we need right now, and I am telling you here today, she can do it. On 24th April 2023, I will be voting for Lorna Smith. And you should too.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue in District 2 where our team caught up with a number of candidates who came out to participate and engage the community on advanced polling day.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Well, I feel very confident. I've been getting tremendous amount of support. There's an overwhelming belief that we can do significantly better as a district, and people have, been willing to tell me what their needs are, and we've exchanged ideas and information, and there's a big sense in the community that we can do a lot better than we've been doing.
As a candidate and voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
I think it's very critical. It's critical for a number of reasons. The world is changing, and we have some significant decisions to make. It comes at a time when we've gone through a COI and we've been exposed to the number of challenges that we're having in the territory, as well as we're in the middle of our constitutional review. So if we're going to make significant changes to the system, this is the time. It's the time when we're looking for leaders who have significant contributions to be made. And so those are some of the areas where, I think that it's a very critical election. We, the Virgin Islands, we've come through a hurricane, we've come through pandemics, we're having economic challenges right now, and so those changes must be made.
Lastly, what would you like the voters to consider most when making their decision?
Well, for me, I think being a community leader, being a district representative requires a lot of organizational skills. It requires having a good personality. It requires being able to work with other government members and work with people in a way that we can benefit the community. I think that we're having a number of those challenges, As you can see, we have a number of seniors that are voting. They themselves are having some challenges. The cost of living is affecting them significantly. If we're going to agree to increase the funds that seniors are taking from government, this is something that is important. And even as the Adina Donovan home, we talked about it being having an expanded version, or a much better version of Adina Donovan home. We have persons who want to stay home in their homes and their houses and have support, and it's a strain. It's a strain on the community, it's a strain on the children, and being able to afford to not only pay for food but have someone to look after them. These are things that I am committed to, and these kinds of initiatives requires cooperation from other government members as well. And so being able to build a relationship with whichever government is the people have chosen, these are the areas that I am very, very comfortable with and have good relationships with everyone.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Okay, first I want to thank the people of the Virgin Islands for coming out, the seniors especially, those who are taking advantage of advanced polling day, for exercising the democratic right. What I want to focus more on is the gratitude that I have for the opportunity to serve the Virgin Islands over the last 8 years, and especially the people in the 2nd District. I want to ensure that I commend and acknowledge my opponents, those who are contesting the seat for the 2nd District, and all other persons in the Virgin Islands who have put themselves up for candidacy to represent these territories. We have been through some turbulent times, we have been through some dark times over the last 4 years, but I believe there is hope. So for me, I believe that the representation that we've been able to exemplify over the last 4 years, especially speaking up against the ills that the last administration have been doing, representing the people of the 2nd District and my community through the worst of times and even being with them through the best of times. I believe that they have confidence in me, and I believe I am confident that we would do the right thing so that the work that we have started will be able to continue and go forward.
As a candidate and voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
This election is extremely important. This is a matter of where do we want to go from here. It is not a rock and a hard place. It's not a fork in the middle of the road. We are at the precipice, and our country needs every single voice, every single voter to exercise their democratic right, to ensure that they are making their say, making their voices heard on what they want to achieve and see achieved in the Virgin Islands. Again, we have faced some difficult times, so I'm encouraged young and old. I see the seniors leading by example. They have the foundation, and I'm encouraging young persons as well, middle-aged business persons, everyone to exercise their democratic right, make your voices heard. Let's send a message that we want to allow this BVI to be great again, to be respected again, and we have to restore the soul of the Virgin Islands, and it starts with your voice, it starts with your vote. So I'm encouraging each and every one. It is extremely important to come out and exercise your right to vote, and hopefully they will vote for Melvin Mitch Turnbull in the 2nd District and the team I represent, Progressive Virgin Islands Movement.
Yes. Last question. What would you like the voters to consider most when making their decision?
Well, I want them to consider the track records. Look at the people that are asking to serve you as their representative in my district. Look at what I've been able to do over the last 4 years. I've been your voice of the people, and I've used my voice for you, the people. I want you to consider the persons that you think will be able to best represent you going forward through this difficult time that we are, to the challenging times with the COI recommendation, to ensuring that we are taking the steps to build our country, to build our territory, to restore it to where it once was, but even propel visions, objectives, and goals that we are able to once again diversify our economy, build on the fishing and farming, our infrastructure, our healthcare, our education, everything. And in this tourism district that we have in the 2nd District, explore it to the possibility that everyone benefits, the business owners, the taxi operators, water supply, making sure that we have the basic needs, no longer the top shop, no longer kicking can down the road or blaming game, but get in there, do the work that is required for the people of the Virgin Islands, because the people have to be first in everything that we do. And I think we have gone a long way off that motto. So it's time to return to the bullseye and put the people as priority, because we are stronger together, and the only how we will get this BVI built if we stand united, stand with each other, reverencing God Almighty, who our forefathers depend on, and go forward to build the BVI to a place that not only we can be proud of, but generations yet unborn, when they come, they will know that there were men and women who took this opportunity, presenting themselves, and did the work necessary to secure the future of these Virgin Islands.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Well, I think I have a great chance, being that once you're in it, you have to be in it first, and I'm in the race, so anybody who's in it has a great chance of being successful.
As a candidate and a voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
It's very important to me because I think we are going through some very trying times here in the territory, and voting gives you an opportunity to select persons who will represent you as a member of the public. So I think it's very important today that persons come out and vote and be a part of the process in selecting persons who they feel can represent them.
What would you like the voters to consider most when voting?
Well, for me, being a contest in the 2nd District, I would basically want the residents of the 2nd District to consider what we've had for the past 8 years and ask yourself, is this the best thing for our district? Consider that before you make a decision. Consider that if what we have is good enough or we can do better. So when you come to the poll, before you make your X or shade your slot, you have to ensure that what you want for the next 4 years is exactly how you're voting, because what you vote is what you'll get.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Well, first of all, I just say greetings to everyone. We're here at the King Garden Base Station, where you have we have the early election polling, and I'm pleased to see the number of people that are showing up here at the site. It means that our seniors are taking this election and giving it the importance that it has. I feel very confident about my particular position and the position of the Virgin Islands Party. So I think that we would do very well when the polls are closed by Monday evening.
And as a candidate and voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
Well, this election, as I had mentioned all through the campaign season, is one of the most critical. I have stated before that it ranks in line with the elections of 1950, when our constitution was restored. It ranks in line with 1967, when we had ministerial government. This here is the election just before we get our advancement in the Constitution, and we must be going towards constitutional reforms. We must be able to know what our particular alternatives are, and we as a people must come together and make a decision as to exactly where we go from here.
Last question. What would you like voters to consider most when making their decision?
Well, you have to consider that when we are done with this election, we would have to have a team that not only takes care of your personal needs or the needs of the community or the needs of the territory, but look in terms of where we go in as a people, because we have the Constitution Commission report that has to be accepted by the next or the 5th House of Assembly. We have also a lot of impediments that we have in terms of the financial services sector. How do we build our economy? How do we get our National Sustainable Development Plan in full bloom so that we can consider this? We have scarce resources. Who are the people best to advocate on your behalf in order to make sure that your schools are rebuilt, your actually entry ports are rebuilt, that your healthcare system is looked at, that your infrastructure is looked at, and all of this. And this is all in the era of scarce resources. So we must be able to negotiate properly those loans and the loan documents that we have. Our particular guarantee must not tie your hand not only of this generation, but other generations. So we have to have favorable terms when it comes to the loan guarantees and all of the other outstanding matters. And we are best positioned to do this.
With that, we take a quick word from our sponsors. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Andy, turns out I'm allergic to the Australian veggie spread.
Ooh, thankfully CG will cover you anywhere in the world. Remember when I went to Australia for my title fight? Trust me when I say you do not want to get in the ring with a kangaroo. It wasn't until my victory dinner with the Sultan that I realized top shelf caviar doesn't agree with me. But I was covered. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm teaching your cousin how to use a flamethrower. Woohoo!
Medical cover anywhere in the world. CG Insurance. Good like that.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
For the last several years, I have had the distinct pleasure of getting to know Mrs. Lorna Smith OBE on both a personal and professional level. She's my mentor and she's my friend, and I owe so much of who I am, especially professionally, to her. Her work ethic, her determination, and her passion have rubbed off on me, and because of that, I have been able to succeed in many aspects of my life. Being a young professional in the BVI, I do think it's always special to have someone who will put you in the important rooms and allow you to learn and to grow, allow you to be the best version of yourself. She was instrumental in helping me to be confident in my abilities. She has a thing where she says that I inspire her, but I don't think she understands how much she inspires me on a daily basis. She cares, she understands, she's passionate, and she listens. Her care, her passion, and her love of all that she does are just a few of the reasons I think that you should vote for her. We are at a time in the BVI where we need doers and not just talkers. I can vouch for Lorna Smith because she is a doer and she will always fight to ensure that the BVI gets the very best. She's someone we need right now, and I am telling you here today, she can do it. On 24th April 2023, I will be voting for Lorna Smith. And you should too.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. On Thursday, I got the chance to speak with members of the community about their views on the election and their hopes for the next government of the Virgin Islands. That was in Districts 4 and 5. Here it is. Hey 284, I'm Jacka Wooding and today is Advanced Polling Day. I'm stationed here in District 4 at the Elmore Stout High School where I checked in with voters to see what their experience has been like today and throughout the election season. Here's what they had to say.
Well, the election so far to me has been interested with all the talk and all the bashing one another, bashing at one another and stuff like that. But here at the 40 poll here in the 4th district, I think they need to sort this out a little more better because here Monday gonna be here very, very horrible.
Alright, what are the main issues or what's the main consideration you made when you decided how you were going to vote?
I want that kind of personal, you know. Trust me on that. I want kind of personal because I just congratulate everybody on the winner you check. Wish everyone the best. You check I'm Pacific with this party or with that party. I just come to exercise my rights as a BVI lander, and I just wish all the best, and whoever the winner is, I hope they just do the right thing.
What would you like to say to whoever wins? What message do you have for the successful candidate for your district or for the next government?
Well, for the winner of this election here, and whoever win, I like to see, you know, like better governments, remember the people, the greedy bill that everybody is angry about. Okay, to me, it's okay for them to give themselves a better salary. But what about the civil servants who work in underpay? You know, let's do something about the civil servants, make everyone happy.
Well, the experience with voting, it was a pleasure, voting. And because that's my right, and my husband is blind, so I voted for him. So it was good, a good experience. I can't say much because...
All right, just two more questions. What's the most important issue or what did you consider as important in the Virgin Islands when you made your decision to vote?
Well, my husband is blind, helpless, he on dialysis, and that was the most important thing. And we run in a little business, and you know, there's nobody looking out for us, the little ones. And that is the most important to me, because we feel alone, left alone, like nobody cares.
And what message would you like to send to whoever is successful in this election?
Please, at least visit us, talk to us, don't go like strangers. Because when you come to ask us for a vote, you was well, humble and thing. And when you get in your $1,000 suit, it's like you see me come in and I tell them that, and you turn your back. It's no hello, no good morning. So what message you sending to us?
Well, I've been high in the campaign mood for this election, this particular election. It's a serious election.
How important do you believe this election is for the BVI right now?
Well, I'm deciding on behalf of my grandchildren. The BVI is in at a crossroads right now, so we need to put it back up and running how it used to be.
And what's the main issues or considerations you're making when you decide how you're going to vote?
Well, I decided the young people. The young people need a sense of direction. And I hope in this election they'll be placed front and foremost. Now, while I believe in the young people, we need people who are older, because you have to have somebody who is mature to guide these young people. So we need some maturity, a lot more maturity in government.
All right, and what message would you like to send to whoever is successful in this election or the next government?
Well, I would like some things for them to do. The pensioners need to be looked at seriously. The old and the aged are supposed to be looked at seriously because they have contributed to the system and they need to look at them carefully. We need an increase in pensions, so both social security and government. We need a proper senior citizen center for the aged. And while we're looking at the young people, we can't forget those people who already contributed to the system.
I'm here with my parents, making sure that they get ahead of time, because this is for the seniors. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yes, I'm here with my parents, as he said. So with less voters right now, so I will take this advantage to cast my X now.
All right. How important do you believe this election is to the Virgin Islands?
Very, very, very highly important.
All right. What kind of change would you like to see this election bring to the territory?
Wait, am I running for politics? No, I'm a voter. I think let's change. We need more balance across the scale. When I say balance, I mean like less nepotism and favoritism and oh boy, you put me at a spot.
All right. Now, do you believe it's a time where we need to see more young people getting into politics, into leadership in the Virgin Islands?
Yeah, I think so. But lately, I think the young people have become more up to date with what's going on. It's not like before where just cast an X and go. They're much in tune. And I think it's highly important right now.
All right. And final question. What's the most important issue for you, or what's the biggest consideration you're making when you decide how you're going to vote?
David, answer that.
Say that again?
What's the biggest consideration for you, or the biggest issue you're going to consider when you're deciding how you're going to vote?
The biggest issue? To bring harmony into the BVI. Harmony. Love and harmony.
While here, we also checked in with the presiding officer who provided an update after this morning's voting.
This is the Rotong polling stations. Presently, we have 68 members have voted. However, we have 3 spoiled ballots, giving a total of 65 voters already voting. The process, there are a few hiccups, but it's going as expected. We know we are dealing with elderly folks, voters, and we are trying our best to assist them and get them out of here as soon as possible.
Moving on into the afternoon, we made a switch over to District 5, where we touched base with residents there who came out to advance polling today, as well as the residing officer. Here's how that went. All right, so what's your experience been like so far with this election?
With this?
The election.
My experience is good and horrible. You know what I mean?
Please expand.
Okay. Horrible is some of them talking some garbage and they're not going to win. I could tell you who are going to win, you know. Every year, every 4 years, I just predict the election. This one here, because there's so much of them and they talking this and talking that, I ain't predict it yet. But still got a little time. Who I voting for?
Oh, you don't have to tell us that.
No, I ain't going to tell you that. They're going to win and my party going to win. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any message for the future government?
Oh, boy, yeah. Message for the future government is treat everyone equal. Don't discriminate against no one, because that's not good. You understand? That's why when you discriminate, next election, it's a problem for you. Because people know when you discriminate, you know. Yeah, so.
And final question, how do you feel about the climate of politics in the Virgin Islands?
It's different than long ago, and I don't like it how it is now, you know. They're bombarding one another too much. You understand? You have to remember this Tatula is one big family. So you go and you do what you have to do and hope you might win, and when another man win, don't criticize him and don't throw stone, because you got a glass window too.
Good afternoon. So far we have had 131 persons voting in total for District 5.
All right, and how would you describe the process? Like, has it been smooth? Have things been hectic?
It has been it was faster just before noon, but now it's beginning to get a little slow.
Of course, 284 Media is the place to be for all of your accurate updates on this year's general election. That's 284media.com, 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter, and 284 Media on Facebook. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Again, I am Jacques Wooding. I'll see you again soon. Viewers, we continue with our journey through District 6, 7, and 8 after these messages.
Public servants deserve better. Money can be found for all kinds of nonsense under the sun, except for civil service salaries. This is just plain wrong. Premier Wheatley at the debate on Tuesday announced that there would be a salaries revision. I think I heard him right. I believe that this is the first one, he also said, since 2003. Civil servants should not have to wait 20 years for a civil service review. It should be done every 10 years, just as in the private sector, if we want people to perform and to be motivated. A salaries review, let me say this, should also include those pensions which in 2023 can buy precious little. And let me take this opportunity to say that the pensions should be paid to nurses who are not from the BVI, but who are BVI landers, who are belongers, and we should not deny them. They work as hard as everybody else. This is their home, and it is grossly unfair. Whoever has to fix it, fix it. It's wrong.
Our country has more power with Lana in we corner.
looking brighter with Lana in we corner.
Sincere with honesty, but you know that already. Real representation from a hard-working woman. Right now, we need Lusat Smith right now. Right now, we need Lusat Smith right now. Vote for Lus on election day. 4th district ain't no other way. We tired complain, we been left out in the rain. We ain't got no time to waste no more. Oh, 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 oh. Voting Lusat Smith for sure. Oh, 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 oh.
He's a great masterminder. Oh, yeah. And a great motivator. Oh, yeah. And oh, yes, he's ready to serve and give the people what they deserve. A sense of ease and equality, not just for some, but everybody. So on election day, vote less, more all the way. No time to joke, no time to play. Vote less, more all the way. Give him a chance, see what he can do. On election day, vote less, more Smith all the way. Yes, this is Sister Joyce telling you now is the time. Make up your mind. Vote Lesmo Smith, our independent at-large candidate. Vote Lesmo Smith.
I am Carl Dawson, Virgin Islands Party District 1 candidate. I am here at the Theresa Blyden Clinic in Capoons Bay. This clinic services Capoons Bay, Long Bay, Carrot Bay, Towers, West End areas. They tell me that they have a client base of over 2,000. The space is small, but they do the very best that they could. Healthcare is one of the key issues that we must attend to in this coming years. We have a plan to build a polyclinic here at Capoons Bay. It has been talked about for years, but now I think it must be a reality. The services that could be available would be more extensive than are here now and would allow persons in the district or elderly or youth to have services right here, as well as decrease the pressure on the services in Road Town. So this is one project that I would love to see move forward, and I'll be working hard to ensure that it happens. Working hard for everyone, I ask you to support me, Carl Dawson, in District 1.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Ron Grant joined the community in District 6, 7, and 8. He filed this report.
Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Today was advanced polling. Residents from across the territory of the Virgin Islands who were senior citizens, disabled, had to travel, or for work reasons needed to vote on advanced polling came out. Today I was at Districts 6, 7, and 8. Take a look.
Good day, Mr. Jaraki. You were just able to cast your vote on early voting.
Yes.
Tell us about the process. How was it? Was it a smooth process?
Fast, easy. Everybody explained it well.
And this is not your first time voting, obviously.
It's not.
Okay. What do you think about the this upcoming election?
I think it's an important event. I think a lot of people are in there making sure it's going to go right.
All right. Now you have done quite a bit for the community. The list goes on and on. What are you most concerned about coming out of the election? What are some of your major concerns that you'd like to see addressed?
Well, I think there'll be a lot of outside interest. Other countries will pay a lot of attention to exactly how it all will work out. And it'll take a bunch of really thinking through what the meaning is of the outcome.
Now, there are a lot of persons who, believe it or not, say they're not voting. What do you say to those persons?
It's a shame. Everybody's views should count.
Kindly tell me which polling station we are at and what has been your feedback so far?
Ron, we're currently at the Eastern Police Station at the Willowood Primary School. I think the feedback has been good. There's been a steady flow of persons coming to vote today, and it's typically the case in Eastern and advanced polling. So we'll see how it progresses through the rest of the day.
As we can see, we have a number of persons bringing the seniors in and of course making sure that they get an opportunity to vote.
How important for you as a district representative has it been to have not only the senior support on election day, but overall?
It's important to ensure that persons who have the right to vote come out and vote. And I'm happy to see that persons who are coming out exercising their right to vote today, particularly our seniors, they've been consistent in terms of exercising their right to vote. And I'm happy to see that they're doing so as well this election.
So this is just one day, but on today, the rest of today, and on Monday, what is your message, your final message to the people of the 8th District?
My message is to encourage persons to come out and exercise their political right to vote. I think it's a sacred right that we've been granted, and we should not take it for granted. And I want to encourage everyone to come out and vote on election day. Today, those who can today, and those on Monday as well.
Speaking of seniors, throughout your tenure as minister, what are some of the aspects that you've been able to attack regarding seniors?
It's important for us to ensure that the services that support our seniors are in place. We've been able to get the senior program back up and running. I'm happy that we're able to get that back functioning and well in place. It's important for us as well to ensure that all the seniors have the services that they need within the society. And we are focused on making sure that those services are in place.
I am here in the 8th District. I'm voting in the 8th District. I'm just bringing my mom for early vote today, but I'll be voting on Monday.
All right, and what's your name, sir?
My name is Lloyd Fred.
All right. Now, you are a resident of the 8th District. Today we see a lot of persons like yourself bringing the elders out and making sure that they have an opportunity in a safe environment. How important is that aspect for you as a citizen to make sure that our seniors are taken care of?
Well, for me, it's very important. I look up to my mom daily. She's one of the pillars of the society. Everyone in this district would have known her. So I just want to make sure she gets out here safely and that she is well taken care of here at the polling station.
Now, Mr. Fred, believe it or not, there are a number of persons of all different age demographics who say they're not going to be voting in this election cycle. What do you say to them?
To those people who are saying that, I would encourage them to vote. Our forefathers fought very hard for this right for us to be able to vote, and not to vote would be a travesty to them. You know, so I would encourage everyone to come out and use your right, your democratic right to vote, regardless of who you vote for. Just come out and vote.
Pleasant good day, Ms. Leonard. We're at the 7th District polling station where we are doing advanced polling. Tell us your sentiments going into the general elections.
Well, my team and I came in very confident, and we remain confident. You know, at the end of the day, you have to trust that the public is looking what they think is right for the country, and we are looking forward to, the results, and we will have to, at the end of the day, work with what the people have said. So that's basically where we are.
We see a number of seniors coming out today. Persons are assisting them. How does that make you feel? Because they're a very special part of our community. How important is it for us to have advanced polling to accommodate our special gems?
Well, as my logo says, they matter too. Our seniors are so precious to us. We tend to forget that they're the ones who raised us, who even myself, where I got my my personality from. So I want to thank the seniors while I'm here, thank them for coming out, thanking them for, placing a trust in our voting system. And I think we are going to get a resounding answer from them today.
Now, my final question for you is there are many persons of all different age demographics who are very adamant, Ms. Leonard, that they are not going to be voting. What are your sentiments to those persons?
At the end of the day, as an individual, as a personal, I understand what they're saying, but for our territory, we need to see how we can change that mindset. I believe that we are going to see much more out on Monday because we are keeping watch to see what's going on, and we have to sit down and speak with them, with regards to what has been happening. I know one of my seniors said to me he's not going because last time he just up and called a snap election. So he's upset with that, and that happened years ago. So we are trying to see how we could encourage them, that this means something for our territory. You see they're out in numbers today, and that says something. And I am confident. I'm even looking forward to seeing a younger generation coming out in droves on Monday, because they matter too. I'm in the middle, but they are behind me. So whatever happens today will dictate the next 4 years of what happens with regards to building our country. What we build and what they take over. So I'm encouraging everyone.
We are here with Ms. Cindy Roseanne. Cindy, today is advanced polling and we are in the east, particularly the 8th district. We see a number of persons coming out, bringing their elders. What is the mood as you observe the advanced polling?
Good day, Ron. Thank you for talking to me. It seems very mellow. The process is going smoothly. Our seniors are being brought out. There seems to be care in their handling. Their people are bringing them out. It's a good sight. The seniors are the foundation right now of the territory. There are cornerstones, there are pillars. So it's great to see them coming out in numbers. This is the first polling station I've been to for the day. I'm going to go and check out some others, but the process seems to be going well and they seem to be making their way out to vote. So I'm happy to see that whichever way they are voting, it's their democratic right, but I'm glad that they're coming out to vote.
And that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. Of course, 284media is the place to be for all of your election coverage on April 24th. I'm Jacko Wooding and I will see you again next week. So have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.
My friends, it is no exaggeration to say that the election on the 20th and the 24th is the most important of any that we have faced. Every day we see more evidence of why this is so. The choices we make on that day will determine the future of the BVI for many years to come. And remember two things. Not voting, you are voting. You are voting for the status quo to remain. Make no mistake about that. And secondly, I know that all these promises have been made that you feel are not kept, but not voting is voting. And remember that every vote counts. So please go to the polls and vote.
Our country has more power with Lana in we corner. The future looking brighter with Lana in we corner.
Is someone gonna get that?
Hello.
Hello. So nice of you to have cleaned up for us. Hi, baby.
We're like in-laws that don't show up unannounced.
Don't worry. I've got this.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
I am Carl Dawson, Virgin Islands Party District 1 candidate. I am here at the Theresa Blyden Clinic in Capoons Bay. This clinic services Capoons Bay, Long Bay, Carrot Bay, Towers, West End areas. They tell me that they have a client base of over 2,000. The space is small, but they do the very best that they could. Healthcare is one of the key issues that we must attend to in these coming years. We have a plan to build a polyclinic here at Capoons Bay. It has been talked about for years, but now I think it must be a reality. The services that could be available would be more extensive than are here now and would allow persons in the district or elderly or youth to have services right here, as well as decrease the pressure on the services in Road Town. So this is one project that I would love to see move forward, and I'll be working hard to ensure that it happens. Working hard for everyone, I ask you to support me, Carl Dawson, in District 1.